welcome back for another episode of 40 Under 40. I am your host, Giles, and as we have been doing this entire season, we are spotlighting 40 amazing artists under the age of 40 who are doing monumental things in the arts, theater, dance, music, film, television, literary. With us today is someone who is no stranger to me, and I would love to introduce you to her. She is a multifaceted artist in her own right who is taking the TV and theater world by storm. I want you to help me welcome to the stage Miss Angelica Cheri. Hey, Angelica, how are you?
Miles, I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. Hey, thank you for joining me today on our 40 Under 40.
Goodness, thank you for having me, and thank you for that gracious and wonderful introduction. Very,
Oh, for
very
sure.
honored. Yes.
For sure. So, for those who don't know, Angelica and I go back 2011, I believe, at
11,
Columbia
13. Yeah.
University in New York. Yeah. And so, Angelica was a playwriting MFA student when I was a theater producing MFA student. And
That is
so we got to work together on Ruby's Nest on the Ground.
oh my gosh, that's right. Oh,
We did get to produce that
old
at the
school.
Signature Theater. Yep.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
right.
And
That's
then we
right.
toured that down to DC. So we have but Angelica, talk to us about like how did you get started in playwriting?
Oh my goodness. It started really the writing of it came when I was in high school. But the theater, the love for the stage and storytelling on the stage happened through acting in like junior high, and I was in these Shakespeare competitions and really nerding out with Julius Caesar and all of this really dense, intense language that there's just like I had absolutely no idea what I was actually saying.
Yeah.
But I just said it with conviction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then jumping forward to high school, I was introduced to playwriting through this workshop that was in my high school English class and in ninth grade. And so I wrote a one act play there. And then fast forward to 11th grade, I wrote another play and it was a full length because I just wanted to see more theater happen in my school. And it was more of an athletic focused school. There was no theater department. And so I wrote a play and went through the process of getting it approved by the administration, held auditions and rehearsals for a month. And then we had 3 performances of the play. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I found my calling right
Right.
here for
Right.
me. Yeah. So it's really started in high school and just progressed from there to college. I studied playwriting at UCLA
Mhm.
for undergrad, and then where we met at Columbia University, my MFA in playwriting, and from there introduced to musical theater writing, lyric writing, and did a second master's at NYU specifically in musical theater writing. So it's just been like this long trajectory of training and acclimating to different, sides of the coin, but all of it storytelling.
Yeah. And like this has brought you a lot of accolades. You just recently won an award for your lyrics. So tell us about that. How was that?
Oh, that was a really, really beautiful defining moment. So the Richard Rogers Award, my collaborator Ross Baum and I, who's the composer for our musical Gun and Powder, I write the book and the lyrics. It's a musical actually set in Texas.
Oh,
It
cool.
Yes, it's set in so it starts in Marlin, Texas, which is
Mhm.
that
I
one of
know
those
Marlon.
little bitty, Marlin?
I know
Only
Marlon.
Texas people know Marlin. You say
Exactly.
anywhere else, it's like, where?
Right.
Where's that? Marlin's itty bitty town. And because that's where my grandmother and her family is from. And so there's this myth in my family that her aunties were outlaws. They passed for white and
Mhm.
they were outlaws. And so we converted that into a musical. And really, it started off as our thesis musical at NYU, but we spent so much time, musicals take so
Yeah,
much time.
they do. They
They
do.
took a long time, as you know. And so, you apply to things and you get the rejection, you get no, 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 no. And then when you get that first yes,
Yeah.
for us, the Richard Rogers Award was a stamp of approval,
Mhm.
and like we have been doing the work, and so yeah, that was beautiful.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's always a great to have someone, you know, say that your work has that quality to receive an award.
That's right.
And so you've transitioned a little bit over to TV, I heard.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm finding a lot of our theater playwrights, especially coming out of New York, are being picked up and, you know, being pushed to a lot of TV and film because of the writing style, of course, and being
Yeah.
able to work in fast paced scenarios. So how was that transition over to TV, and what project was that?
So my first project in TV was Highway to Heaven,
Mhm.
starring the fabulous Miss Jill Scott,
Mhm.
who is literally an angel. And it's the remake of the classic TV series from the 80s with Michael Landon, where an angel comes down and he's assigned to help people, with certain problems that they have.
The
And
great Della Reese was in that, wasn't she?
that's Touched by an
It's
Angel.
Touched by an Angel. You're right. My bad.
No, it's
Highway.
all good.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's kind of like the predecessor of Touched by an
Gotcha.
Angel.
Okay.
And Jill Scott being the new angel in the
Mhm.
franchise, and that was on Lifetime at the beginning of November of 2021 last year. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? Because it's twofold. I've seen a lot of TV, a lot of playwrights want to move over to television writing during the pandemic,
Mhm.
especially
Mhm.
because theater has suffered so much as a result of COVID and
Right.
things having shut down. But it was always something that I had been endeavoring to do even before the pandemic. Like I moved back to LA because this is my hometown. LA is
Mhm.
from New York in 2016 because I knew that my storytelling was going to live in four mediums: theater, musical theater, film, and television.
Nice.
Um, and so the transition, obviously, really the thing about theater is that there's structure to
Mhm.
it in the
Mhm.
storytelling and the writing, but it's not as codified. Like you have certain liberties that you can take, and it can form more organically.
Right.
But there's a specific structure to movies and a specific structure to TV. You
Mhm.
can play a little bit within it, but in the beginning, you really have to like know what you're doing and
Right.
learn the. So it's been a wonderful challenge to translate the brain, to get the brain to understand. Okay, you knew French, now you're learning German, but you
Right.
can, you know,
Yeah.
uh, but it's still to be able to move through all of those different mediums is
Mhm.
super powerful because you're able to understand a story has a specific shape depending on whatever medium that you place it in. And some stories live better in other mediums, and you can
Right.
understand that.
Right. That's cool. So, how was it? Did you know you were writing for Jill Scott you were?
Oh,
Okay.
wow. I did not know that. And I'm so glad I didn't, because then I would have been like,
Right. Right.
oh, oh my goodness. No, it was we wrote the script, and then, because it all happened really quickly, the
Mhm.
process was accelerated because they needed to film at a certain time.
Okay.
And when, we wrote the script, it was completely filled, and they threw out some names of who they were thinking of.
Okay.
But of course, like Jill Scott was at the top of the list, and it was sort of
Right.
like, oh, if we can get Jill Scott, that would be. And then when she accepted, I was like, help,
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, were you on set with them while they were filming?
No, the writer. So it was myself and Catherine Humphris. We
Okay.
co-wrote the script, and we were here in LA, and all of the filming took place in Vancouver.
Gotcha.
But we did communicate back
Mhm.
and forth. And Stacey K. Black, our director, she was just spot on. She was
Awesome.
brilliant, and so we had that fluid communication.
That's awesome. So how is it to go from writing by yourself to having a co-writer or being in a writer's room?
It's actually awesome. It really is. I think you find the benefits of all things.
Mhm.
The benefit of writing by yourself is you just get to be in your own sandbox and
Yeah.
make a mess and not have to explain anything and
Mhm.
just see what works, come back. And, um, the benefit of collaborating is you get to have a conversation. What is this? What is that? And then you automatically because we automatically think that our first ideas are best when we put
Right.
it by ourselves. But then when you have someone else who's like, yeah, not quite that yet. What about this? What
Mm-hmm.
about this? And then it just automatically elevates the work.
Gotcha. That's really smart. That's really smart. So you work in 4 different worlds. You work in theater, which we call straight theater. You work in musical theater. You work in film, and you work in television. Um, those are all, as I said, I think on another podcast, those are all the same muscle but different.
Very, very, very.
Talk to me about how it is transitioning from one to the other.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So for example, theater, I'm thinking about what is the universe and
Mm-hmm.
how what experience do I want people to have sitting in the theater? And I can craft a structure around that. I can make a structure in the style of, okay, a 5-course meal, and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
We still know that there's like Aristotelian drama principles, like the inciting incident,
Mm-hmm.
the denouement, different things like that. But we can really kind of like guide people through the structure because it's a visceral experience of being in the room.
Right.
But with film, for example, it's the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we've all been watching films our whole lives in this generation, everybody born, after the 1940s or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we have a rhythm that we're expecting, which is this 3-act structure
Right.
that's like, all right, the point of, the taking off point, the rising action, the midpoint, all right, then everything goes downhill, and then, everything fails, and we have a new plan now.
Right.
Like, that 3-act structure is just like you're watching a movie and you just feel it. You don't even have to explain it. You
Mm-hmm.
feel what that is. And I had to like understand the mechanics of that because I was trying to write just a visual play on a screen when I was writing, when I first started. And I realized I'm not utilizing the medium,
Mm-hmm.
and the medium is the storytelling engine has a
Right.
specific trajectory, but I'm like kind of on a flat level
Mm-hmm.
because I'm understanding the structure. And doing that just makes all the difference. I think that's the biggest difference between the storytelling for the stage and for the screen is learning the structure. And once you know the structure, you can fit anything you want in it. You also know that like you don't have to explain so much through language on the screen because you're going to see it and you're
Right.
going to like, zoom in on that. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of it.
Right.
But understanding that there's a structural difference when you watch a pilot, act 1 of a pilot, everything you hear, here's the world, here's
Right.
all the locations, here are all the characters.
Right.
Act 2, the main character, they have a moment of failure where they tried to start off on something. Okay, act 3, let's try again. Act 4, oh, here, I got the solution.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, duh. Okay. It's like someone just explaining to you what you already know about TV, what you already know about film, but you
Right.
understanding it so that you can use that.
Yeah, I love that. That's super smart. That's super smart. Columbia paired you with a mentor. Who was your mentor?
My mentor, the multiple Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, Lynn Nottage.
Yes, yes, yes. Shout out to Lynn Nottage. Amazing. Yeah, I think she has a show that just ended on Broadway, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yes. And I'm so upset that I couldn't get to New York to see it in time. And I'm angry that COVID has
exactly.
truncated things.
Right,
Yes.
right. How was it having a mentor at the level of Lynn Nottage?
I was mortified. What do you mean? I was and the thing about Lynn that just brings her to this level of otherworldly grace,
Mm-hmm.
whom she is and what she embodies,
Yeah.
is I came into the room with that energy, like, oh my goodness, Miss Nottage. And she was just like, oh yeah, great. I love meeting other playwrights.
Mm.
She put me on the same level as her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
she's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, she is, and I love her work. I've loved her work before I even knew who she was. Yeah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
goodness. Her titles, Crumbs from a Table of Joy.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Yeah, they just do something inside you for sure. Who are some of your other inspirations?
oh my goodness. I mean, in the same era, Dominique Morisseau, who is
Uh,
another friend, and yeah, just throw a shoe at her. Like,
yes,
you
for
better
sure.
write, girl. I love Dominique. I love Jocelyn Bio,
Yes,
again. And as another person, you want to just take a shoe off and throw it at, like, you
yes.
better write that scene.
Right.
And as an actress, I mean, both Dominique and Jocelyn as actors are
Yeah,
prolific. And,
phenomenal.
personality wise, Jocelyn is just hysterical.
Mhm, mhm.
You're hilarious. I love you. Um, of course, the person who I see as my grandfather, who I claim is my grandfather,
Okay.
August Wilson,
Yes, yes, hands down.
hands down,
Yeah.
grandpa.
Hmm.
Grandma, Maya Angelou,
Okay.
Dr.
Okay.
Maya Angelou,
On the quarter now, for sure.
oh yes, oh my goodness. And yeah, I really do have a deep appreciation for Tennessee Williams, although I understand he's incredibly problematic.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, what
But
it
he's part of the canon for sure.
he's part of the canon
Mhm.
because, and I think I have an affinity towards his work because it was some of the first theater that I was introduced to. And because of his writing of the South,
Mhm.
because my grandmother's from Texas,
Right.
and just placing the South in the theater canon
Right.
as one of the first people to do that,
Yeah.
as racist and sexist as he was, but
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
we can acknowledge the and right.
Yes, for sure. That's a mighty list. Because it's definitely some giants. Well, all giants, not some. They're all giants on
Right,
the
right,
list. That's
right.
awesome.
And
Um,
of course, Lynn. I mean, we already said, but of
yes,
course,
of course, Lynn, the Lynn Nottage.
Ely, Miss Notch,
Right.
yes.
So talk to us about we talk a lot about the highlights and about the amazing, opportunities we have. Talk a little bit about the struggle. Like what was it where was there a challenge that you had to overcome, and then how did you overcome that challenge?
I mean, I overcome every challenge by faith in God.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would not be, one of the biggest things that happened was when I first had the opportunity to come back, because, like I said, Los Angeles is my hometown. And I felt, in my own self, I said, I'm not moving to LA. I'm not moving back to LA until I have a job. You
Okay.
know, I was, terribly afraid of coming back to LA with no job and thinking that I was going to spiral back into like feeling like a kid out of high school or out of college and figuring out what to do. And
Right.
so there was an opportunity that came knocking while I was like the last year that I was living in New York to write, to kind of come on board to this startup production company that was coming out the gate with a cooking show and a feature film and some other documentary.
Mhm.
And they said, we want you to be the main writer,
Okay.
on all these projects. And I was just like, oh, great. And then they even said, and this is how much we're paying you,
Hmm.
through a dollar, amount. And then I said, okay, I think this is it. Um,
Right.
I prayed about it. I felt like I got confirmation that like this was the moment. And I gave away all my furniture, stuffed my cat in a purse, and flew back
Oh.
to California, moved back in with my father.
Uh-huh.
And within a week and a half of being back, the producer said, oh, we don't have the money.
Wow.
And I have never spoken to them again to this day. They have never called me. They have never made good on any of those promises. And I said, okay, now I know I prayed and
Yeah.
I felt confirmation that it was the right moment to move
Right.
back. So I was like, but then like, what
Right.
is
Right. I'm here. What's up? Yeah.
what's up? Like and so I really said to myself, okay, I have a choice here. I can either like I can either kick and scream and go back to New York, or I can figure out how to do the thing that I was afraid of doing, which was come home with no job and make, these moves. And so I just started studying TV. I started watching a bunch of pilots, reading a bunch of pilots, learning the structure, took a class, my team increased. I came out here with one agent. Now I have 3 agents and 2 managers.
Wow.
But this was a process, and I continued to work on my theater projects as well. I did not say, okay, I'm done. But it took time. It took perseverance. It took patience. It took faith. It took determination, and it took discipline to continue to write, continue to learn, and continue to put the work in.
That's awesome. That's an amazing way to look at that. So many times people would have gotten to LA and the dream being snatched from them. They would say, well, this wasn't meant to be. And then I'm just going to go be bean counter number 12. And there's nothing wrong with being bean counter number 12.
Right.
No, that's not your passion. Yeah.
No.
You have to stick with it. Yeah.
You have to know, you have to say, am I being honest with myself right now?
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So talk to the young boy or girl who's out there and says, hey, I want to write, but people say writing isn't cool. I want to be the next person who is a showrunner for HBO Max. What would you say to that person?
I would say never, ever make any decisions based on what other people tell you. Because people will tell you, this is unstable, the career is challenging, it's too competitive, you don't make enough money, There's competition in every field.
Right.
There's risk in every field. The greatest risk, I think what's more fearful for me than hopping into a career that's unstable, but I know that this is what I've been called to do and what my passion is less scary than accepting a job that's going to give me financial stability, knowing I'm wasting my talent and wasting my time and not living up to my potential.
Wow.
That's more fearful to me.
Wow.
The other thing is, if this is what you want to do, learn everything that you can about it and continue to get better. Even when you think you've gotten better, keep learning, keep taking classes. Don't, I would say, go to college, go to undergrad, go to grad school, but don't think, the mistake is that a lot of people fresh out of grad school think, all right, I put in the time, I got the degree, and now I'm going to get the job.
Right.
Not how the arts works. This is not dentistry.
Right. That's real.
Not how it works at all. You have to continue to learn, continue to write, continue to make connections, meet people, and keep making, learning and making mistakes. There's I don't believe there's such a thing as mastery when it comes to art. I don't. Even though they offer master's degrees, I feel like, every story is different. And you have to approach it humbly, saying, I don't know how to solve you. It's going to reveal itself to me. So I have to learn you all over again. So just keeping that in mind and never taking no for an answer, that's the way.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Angelica, what's next? What can we look forward to next coming from you?
Well, the things that I can speak about,
right,
which is great. It's great to have little creative secrets, and then you're like, here you go.
Right.
One of the next thing that we know is that Gun and Powder is headed to Broadway. We don't have an official announcement, but that's the plan. The plan is, either in the next, whenever it is safe. There may be a production before that, but we know that we're going to Broadway. And awesome. I'm not announcing that any theater has, signed on or anything like that. I'm not jumping ahead of any official announcements. I'm just saying that we have a producing team that is wonderful and determined, and we have been planting the seeds. So that's the intention for that show. And then other than that, I am working on 3 films at the moment.
Nice.
Which one is going to be a biopic of someone very exciting.
Okay.
And another one is going to be like kind of a Christmas film.
Okay.
I was like, what can I say without giving it away? It'll be a Christmas movie. Like, I can
Okay.
just say that.
Okay.
And then another one will be a movie musical. So those are the three things that I'm working on right now.
Wow.
A jukebox movie musical.
Okay.
The artist music I cannot say yet,
Okay.
but
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
which is that. And then on the theater side, in addition to Gun and Powder, I'm working on another musical, which will be an adaptation of something, from the culture that I can't say yet.
Okay.
And then the other one is a biopic, if you will, of another person's life whom I can't say yet, but it's coming up.
Listen, you are busy, busy, busy. I'm excited. I'm gonna put a Google alert with your name. So every time that that there's a news article about what's coming next, I want to know about it for sure.
Yes, please. And then, like you said, we have to work together.
We do.
We have to do, like that was Ruby Plays Nest on the Ground at the DC Black Theater Festival back in 2011? That was 2013, I think it was.
Yeah, 2013 it was. Yeah, it was.
That shall not be the last time.
It shall not be the last time. I'm super excited and proud of you. How can we follow you? How can we follow you on social media?
So at IG and Twitter, I'm at Angelica Cheri, all, one word, ANGELICACHERI, and at angelicacheri.com.
Cool. So I'm excited about this game, This or That, as well.
Yes. Oh, me too.
So it's going to be fun. So with This or That, as we always do, we give 2 words, 2 scenarios, 2 situations, and ask you to pick one.
Got it.
Okay.
Wait.
It's going to be, I'll start off a little easy for you, just a little easy. Okay.
It's like, is this going to be chocolate or vanilla?
That's actually the second one on here that I'm not, but I don't do those.
Yes.
So East Coast pizza or West Coast tacos?
West Coast tacos, period.
Why? That was quick.
I'm an LA native. What you mean?
So it's West Coast tacos for you all day long. Okay. Would you rather go to a big party or intimate gathering?
Ooh, an intimate gathering. These days, child, please.
Not too many people around.
Yeah, and then the sweat, the sounds, the noise, the appetizers.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. Would you rather have cake or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Why?
Pralines and cream.
Okay. A specific brand?
The Thrifties.
Okay. Very specific.
Yes.
Very specific. Okay. Biggie or Pac?
Gotta be Pac. No disrespect, but I mean, again, LA.
West Coast all day. I'm gonna throw it up too. That's funny.
It's the West, no games.
Right. The Wild West. Do you prefer comedy or horror?
Oh my God. Have to be comedy. I don't like my blood pressure elevated.
Okay. This is gonna be a little controversial.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and Angela Bassett or Lynn Whitfield.
Oh my God.
They're both amazing.
Both are our aunties?
Yeah, they're both amazing, but you gotta pick one.
Oh my God. Because I mean, can we just say Lynn Whitfield slayed in Greenleaf? Did you watch Greenleaf?
Killed. Yes. Lady May was amazing.
Lady May was vicious.
Right.
Ooh, I would hate that to be my mother-in-law.
Right.
My God.
I'd be scared for to be my mom.
My mama-in-law, auntie.
Right.
And then Angela Bassett, just over and over again, every time. We just I think because of the extensive catalog, and because they all go back decades.
They do.
I'm gonna have to say Angela Bassett.
Okay.
No disrespect, Auntie Lynn.
Not at all. We love both of them. I know. I said it's gonna be controversial.
All the aunties all up in my. What you mean? You said you wasn't going?
I love both. I absolutely love both. For sure. Would you rather have $1 million home or $1 million in cash?
Oh wow! That's a great question. Thinking about that, $1 million home, first of all, means different things in different places, right?
Very true.
Like $1 million home in California or in Los Angeles can be like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 600 square feet.
Right.
As if it's $1 million home in Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like
The state.
an estate with 18 acres of land.
Right.
So for the specificity of that, but if I had $1 million cash and put it as a down payment on a home in LA, that could get me something cute.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the cash.
Okay, like the cash.
I had to talk that one out, but
right, I get it. I get it. Last question. Would you rather stay up late or wake up early?
Oh, stay up late.
I find so many creatives who will stay up late rather than wake up early. Yeah, it's so funny to me.
We be like,
but that's how
I'm inspired at 3 a.m. Like,
right. What are you doing?
right. You're like, I'm sorry, my cat just like kind of lost it for a second.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. The cat was tired that I asked about Lynn Whitfield.
Yes, he was over it.
Right. But yeah, I love the fact that you said stay up late. Yeah, so I'll find a lot of people who would rather stay up late than ever wake up early, for sure.
Oh man, yeah, because it's like, what's early? 5 a.m.
Yeah, 4, maybe 5. Yeah, that's super.
No, that's ungodly.
That's what you gotta still sleep. That's funny. So thank you for joining me, Angelica Cheri. Super duper proud of everything that you're doing.
Likewise, you are building empires in Dallas. Come on now. Thank you.
Thank you
for your service to the community.
For sure. Hey, everybody, make sure you go support this amazing artist. When Gun and Powder goes to Broadway, I'm going to organize a trip, an urban arts trip to go opening night to go hang out with the cast for sure. And then all the other amazing things that she's doing. So definitely like, follow, and share everything that she's doing. And be a support. Definitely be a support. This has been another episode of 40 Under 40, powered by Urban Arts Magazine. We'll see you next time.